family, what is happening? I pray that you are having a blessed and amazing day, and I really appreciate you for clicking on this tutorial. So I hope that you learn and gain something from this, alright? But the cut we are going to be doing is a low cut with a mid fade and a nice beard lineup, and I just want to take y'all through the process. So to start off this cut, we're going to go ahead and take it down to a number 8 guard, and you'll see me just go over the hair multiple times and in multiple different directions. And it's because I want to make sure that the top is truly a number 8 and that some spots aren't longer than another, right? So you'll see me just continue to comb the hair back down and go over it once again. And this is just going to ensure that I get a nice even cut that'll last. So I did end up washing my client's hair just so I can get it to lay a lot nicer. But to start off the fading process, I'm going to go ahead and start with my bald line. And as you can see, I started at the bottom of his eyebrow, and then I kind of sloped it around his ear, and then I went to the back and connected it in the middle. And that's because I want to have that nice curvature to the fade that kind of fits his head shape, right? Because I want it to have more of a custom look instead of a straight front to back. So I went ahead and I'm just sloping it towards the back just so I have that nice drop. And then we're going to go ahead and bald everything under it out. And you want to make sure that you're letting the trimmer do the work. You don't want to cause any irritation to the client's skin. Because I know for me personally, if I get a haircut and when I cut my own hair and I get razor burn or any form of redness, it kind of just throws off the whole experience and the whole look of the cut, right? Because I don't like irritation. And then we're going to follow it up with the shaver, and we're going to let it do the work as well, because we also don't want to cause any ingrown hairs. So I'm letting the weight of the shaver kind of just do its thing, and this is just going to get it closer to the skin so the haircut lasts a little bit longer and add some more pop to the fade, you feel me? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out. And now right where we left off with the shaver, if there's a slight line, you can go ahead and grab your trimmer and just kind of, knock it out. And now going into our next step in the fading process, we're going to start with our clipper all the way open, and we're going to go up about a full inch, and then we're going to keep that same shape that we made with our bald line. And we're just going to follow that all the way to the back of the head. You'll see me go over the guideline multiple times just so I can ensure that it is a true clipper open. And you'll see also that I widen up the guideline as I get towards the back of the head. And reason being is because in the back of the head, we have a lot more canvas and surface area to work with. And it just gives me a lot more room to blend and get that stretched out fade. And right above that clipper open, we're going to go with our one guard open. And again, going up about a full inch. Keeping that same exact shape, staying real consistent with it. And for this fade, I'm going to go ahead and set in all my guidelines first, and then we're going to blend down. So again, this is my one guard open. I'm going over it a few times just to make sure it's even. You want to make sure that you're combing and brushing as you do this. And now right above that one open, we're going to grab our 2 guard all the way open. And we don't want to make too harsh of a line with this, so I'm flicking out pretty drastically here. But I'm going again about a full inch above that one open. And I already faded one side of the head, so I'm showing you the other side, and then we're going to connect both sides in the middle. And now right where we left off with that 2 guard open, we're going to grab our number 3 guard closed. And we're really flicking out here because we don't want to make a line. We're trying to blend into the top as best as possible. And if there still is a slight line, we'll come back with clipper over comb or with shear over comb to kind of give it a softer look. But again, this is our 3 guard closed, and I'm flicking out drastically right where we left off with that 2 guard open, trying to blend into the top. And that's something you really want to practice, especially when you first start learning how to cut hair, is that flick out motion is very essential to the fading process. So again, I'm being patient. I'm trusting the process that I have in place, the system that I have in place. And sorry for this autofocus, man. I'm real trash at it. I'm not even gonna cap with you. And then I went here and I grabbed my 1.5 guard to get rid of that line between the 1 open and that 2 guard open. So I'm going in open, and then I'll close the lever gradually as needed. And you can see as we do that, that fade is already really starting to come together. There really is only like 2 drastic lines that we need to get out after this step. So again, this is our 1.5, and I'm going in open, and then I'll close it gradually as needed. And now to kind of blend a little bit better above that, I'm kind of detailing as I go, so I don't have to do so much detail work at the end. I grab my 2 guard once again, and this is all the way open, just trying to blend it a little bit better. As you can see, those dark spots I'm working at in the back. And I'm brushing as I'm doing this, allowing the hair to lay in its natural direction. And now for that line I just pointed out between the open and the 1 open, I grab my 1/2 guard, and I'm going in open and then closing the lever gradually as needed. So right here the clipper is open. I'm gonna go ahead to the back, and then you'll see me close the lever right here until that line is completely blended out. And me personally, I always start with the clipper open because you can always take hair off, but you can't put hair back on, right? So if I go in open and it doesn't take off enough and there's still a line there, I just go ahead and close that. And now right above that 1/2 guard, I grab my 1 guard once again, and I'm just trying to blend it a little bit better. And now for this last line, I'm gonna go in closed with my clipper, and as I move up into that fade, I'll start to open that lever gradually until that line is completely blended out. And once we get rid of this line, we really got through our steps, and it's just a matter of detailing and getting that fade to the next level. And you'll see me start to use a lot of the corner of the blade just so I can get into some dark spots in his head, because everyone's head has indentations and crevices because, you know, under our head is bone, right? And there's a lot of lumps and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you're using the corner of the blade just like I am here to get into those dark areas and get that fade looking, you know, as consistent and as fluid as possible. So you can really see that corner work here. And you can already see how the fade is starting to connect in the back. So I went ahead and did the right side first, and then I showed you guys how to fade on the left side, and then I'm connecting both sides right now. So I'm going in closed, and I'm opening that lever gradually as I move up. And I went ahead and grabbed my 1 guard once again, going in closed, and I'm really playing with the lever now, trying to see what works and what doesn't to get those dark spots out. And now it's time for the detail work. So I'm going in closed once again with my clipper, attacking that bottom line, trying to get it, you know, as blended as possible. And I'm pointing right here to the corner of the blade because I'm really going to use that to get into those dark areas. Because what using the corner of the blade does is allow you to go into those areas where you use the 1 guard and the 1 guard open, and it allows you to go into there with the clipper open and get into those darker areas. And as you can see from this angle, that blend is really starting to come together. If you like it so far, make sure you comment down below what you think about this cut. And now I'm just doing some thinning shear over comb, and I'm using the fine tooth of the comb just so I can get into the lower part of the fade and start to make that blend a little you know, look a little bit more fluid and consistent all the way through. And this really allows you to get into those darker areas and be a little bit safer instead of using the clippers, right? And I'm combing it as I do so. And now we're gonna get into the beard. So I'm gonna go ahead and comb out the beard first, and then I'm just gonna blend into the beard. And we're gonna use the same exact step as we used on the head, right? So I'm going in with the clipper open, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that first line with the clipper closed, and then open it gradually. And now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my 1 guard all the way open, and then I'll go ahead and close the lever. And that's really about it. It's really easy to blend into the beard. Actually, for me, it's a lot easier than, you know, blending on the head. But now we're gonna go ahead and get into the lineup. So I went ahead and combed it up just so you can see this is not going to be a pushback. I'm just going to line up his bangs, right? Because that's what these are. So I'm starting in the middle, and then I'm gonna move to the right side of his head. and then I'll go to the left side and do the same thing. And with this, you want to be as patient as possible. You don't want to rush through the hairline. This is probably the most important part of the cut, right? Because this is the part that the client sees. So you want to stay patient, you want to stay confident. I know it can be awkward because you're directly in front of them, but just be confident in your ability and execute on it. So I started in the middle, and then I'm moving to the left side of his corners, keeping it as natural as possible while getting it as crispy as possible. And I'm combing it as I do it to ensure I'm giving him a lineup that's going to last. And we're now lining up the arches or the C cup, whatever you want to call it. I start at the top, and then I go to the bottom and connect it in the middle, and that is how I get that nice round C shape without getting too cosmetic and pushing it in too much. Alright, and now we're going to enhance it just a little bit. So I got my Sean Cuts Hair Tune 45 card, and I just went ahead and sprayed some Kiss semi-permanent hair color to go ahead and darken it up a little. And now with the mustache, we're just going to go ahead and line up the bottom. And when lining up the mustache, you want to line it, you know, like right where the lips at, or right where its natural line is at. You don't want to push it up too high, because then you're either going to make their mustache too thin, or you're just going to make it look weird. You know what I'm saying? And when lining up the beard, I do the same exact thing as when I'm lining up the arches. I start at the top of the beard, and then I go to the bottom of the beard, and I connect it in the middle. So I'm really pulling up on his cheek, trying to create tension so I don't cut into his cheek, right? And then you'll see right here, I'm going to go ahead and brush away that first initial line that we made with the razor. And I'm going to go ahead and reline it just so I can make sure that I'm giving him, you know, a lineup on his beard that will last. And right here, I'm going to ask him to blow a bubble just to create some more tension there on the cheek and ensure that I get that nice round shape on his beard line. And we're going to go ahead and enhance it with some Elegance semi-permanent hair color. Using my dip brush, I'm just going to apply it right where the line is at, and then I'll go ahead and brush it in. And you don't want to make it too dark, right? You want to keep it as natural looking as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and brush it in. And this client likes his beard a little bit darker, you know what I mean? So I go ahead and apply it on the beard and just darken it up as you know, as much as possible without making it look too fake, you feel me? So I'm just going ahead and applying it, and then I'm going to brush it in. And usually I reline it, and I just didn't record that part, but we're going to go ahead and use the razor on his hairline. And you want to do the same thing. You want to use your thumb to create tension just so you don't cut, you know, through the client's skin or create any irritation or redness. But family, this is the before, how he came in looking rough. So we went ahead and put a mid fade on him. We took it down to a number 8. Use some enhancements to get that lineup popping, as well as on his beard. Family, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and follow me at Dreclipperhands and on Twitter at Dreclipperhands. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below what you think about this cut. But fam, I really appreciate you for watching this video. Catch y'all next time.